Here on Sunday. This is between years number 14. Look at that. And we're back live on a Sunday. Um how we feeling? How we living?
It's been a wild one. I feel like we say that every year now. Oh my god, I've never felt a 4 weeks like this. I've never felt a 5 weeks, but this is just the new landscape.
Yeah, you were saying in Gen Chat where it was like I feel like I'm saying every year is a weird year.
Yep.
And
Yep.
COVID's just well, we can't even blame COVID anymore. It's just the randomness of sports, which is why we're here. This is why
I
we do
actually think
this.
that's going on. Like, because there's been a lot of illness designations,
Hmm.
and it hasn't been labeled as such. But I'm just theorizing that it might be going
Yeah,
around a little bit.
could be. It didn't just disappear apparently. So we had the Bills and Jaguars, and it's kind of like a stay away game for me in terms of just looking at the lines and stuff. You had the Jaguars already out there in London, and it looked just from an energy standpoint. There's a big difference between them and the Bills, and also the Bills just got decimated. They lost White last week. They lose Milano in the second quarter, I think.
Yep.
Doesn't look good for him. You got Von Miller in his first game back. And Jacksonville looked like who we thought they were. They looked more like the team that we were anticipating here. And they almost pulled it out. The Bills almost pulled it out there, but they gave up that back-breaking touchdown to ETN, and that about did that.
I mean, at that point, they were just so gassed and so depleted. Like you could see visibly, they were just running all over. Not that Jacksonville can't run the ball, but they're not exactly a power run team, and they were just
We hadn't
giving
seen
up
that.
gaps, giving up contain.
We hadn't seen that up until now, so
Right.
definitely interesting to see. There's feels like a lot of bye weeks this week. This feels like the kind of feels like a bye week Armageddon a little bit here. There's
Yeah, it's like
so many teams
Browns,
on buys.
Bucks, Seahawks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot.
A lot of teams that got off to good starts here, but opening window we have Titans at the Colts. This just feels kind of like an introduction to the division here for Anthony Richardson. I think Vrabel's probably gonna give them some issues, but Steichen's pretty good, man. As we've seen, the Titans' defense is pretty exploitable, especially in the secondary. Kind of see where that goes. I think the Titans probably pull that one out, though. I don't know, something about a rookie QB going against Vrabel just kind of feels a little. Ugh.
Yeah, no, you make a good point. I mean, and it's a divisional game. It can sometimes go either way that way. Um, do get Jonathan Taylor back though, finally. So talk about a surprise
big.
extension.
Yeah, Saquon.
So
Jesus, somewhere Saquon's got to be just furious right now because I mean they just exploited, and I do think that there's a little bit of a differential between Taylor and Saquon. Saquon's already been paid. You know what I mean? Like when you're the number 2 overall pick, you're already making, I think 8 figures. I think you get like 10 mil a year or something like that. And Jonathan Taylor was a second round pick, so he needed to hold out, I think, a little bit more than Saquon. Saquon's probably career earnings is probably somewhere in the 40-ish million, maybe $50 million so far. So there is a line of delineation between the two, and that's why Jonathan Taylor was holding out so hard.
Yeah. It's kind of odd that they were kind of the ones that was the situation that kind of like sparked this whole running back uproar, and they're getting in meeting calls on Zoom talking about how unfair things are, and then none of the running backs really got what they wanted except for Jonathan Taylor.
Apparently he is the only one willing to hold out.
Yeah, man.
I mean, it sucks. I mean, like you hold out and you're being called a bad teammate, you're being called this, you're being called that. And I assume in some ways maybe the Colts gained some leverage there. I mean, I think it's a win-win for both parties. I don't think either party lost. I think if anyone, the only team that kind of lost was the Colts, because instead of just paying him and getting him for the first 4 games of the year, you decided to wait. and you had to pay him anyway.
Well, here's the interesting question: is this the playbook now? Because Jonathan Taylor was pulling this stuff technically a year earlier than you should be. So is this the playbook now? If running backs don't feel like they're being valued appropriately, especially one of Taylor's status, do they pick the third season, or assuming no first round or what's it called, fifth year option for a first round pick? So is that, are we trying to get ahead here? Do you think we could see this more? Is all I'm wondering.
I don't know if there's really a good answer that kind of like takes care of everyone involved, but we're certainly at a point right now where I do think that there has to be some sort of intervention, because team front offices have gotten too smart here. And it is unfair in a lot of ways. I think Nick Chubb said it, where it's like, the better I do, the more it hurts me. Yeah. It's like the more carries that I take, the more it hurts me in contract negotiations. So I do think maybe it's as simple as maybe running backs aren't draftable. Maybe you can't draft running backs. You go from college straight into free agency. Maybe that's the answer. I don't know. That would be interesting to see for how would that work for Bijan. Like, how much would Bijan? He'd probably get around the same contract so that he has now. But I think maybe something like that, shortening the contracts. I don't know. You don't want to make it too contract based, because then you're going to have some teams get a little too finessey, where it's like, we're just not going to give anyone 200 carries. You know what I mean? So it's kind of hard to go that route, where it's like, oh, if you get 1,000 yards, if you get this, if you get that, like, we're going to give you X amount of dollars, because teams can just, they could just circumvent that and just committee it. So it's really a tough question. And I know for a lot of time people are saying quarterback salaries shouldn't count against the cap. Maybe it's really running backs that shouldn't count against the cap. I don't know. But it's maybe it's as simple as something to the effect of, let's say, I re-sign the running back that I draft, right? I re-sign him. It counts half as much against the cap. Maybe something like that. I don't know. It's a hard question, and unfortunately, the only answer that we have right now is don't play running back. That's what's kind of been loud and clear. Don't play running back, because it's going to be hard to get your money.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's a couple things that you can do. You're at the end of the day, the teams aren't going to want to relinquish the control aspect, because they want years of control. There's a reason that after an extension, they fold that whatever's left on your rookie deal or whatever deal it was, you still carry over that year of control, and then they prorate stuff and turn it into signing bonuses. And it's not like, I think the thing that irritated me the most is that this was always going to be the path of doing it. And they will still be able to not only pay Jonathan Taylor his money, but prorate all of his guaranteed money into signing bonuses. It won't count against the cap, and he'll be off the books well before Anthony Richardson is eligible for his big boy contract, if that's what they choose to do. So right. It was really just, it feels like an unnecessary part of hardball, because more and more teams are willing to, run against these quarter shells and these too high looks that invite the run. And if you're not going to intend to use someone in a workhorse role, that's fine. But I think that you should, another potential outcome is that you could have you can only be used on a per carry basis, proportional to how much you're being paid. So if you want to take a first round guy, you have, full reign to do X, Y, and Z, and use them however you want. But if you just want to use them in a committee, I think that's something that you could examine too. That way you're preserving the long-term health when these guys do hit free agency. And if you're not willing to pay that guy, that's fine, but he's not asked out because he toted the rock 800 times for you before he turned 25.
Yeah. 100%. I mean, it's the only position I can think of in sports where it's like, the more that you perform, the less that you get. Yeah, you got Houston on the board with a field goal. kind of weird coming into that game. Atlanta was the favorite. I don't see how Atlanta could have been the favorite there. Houston's been much better than them.
So Atlanta's a really tough matchup. Like, not even just like difficulty versus the opponents that they're facing, but they're just such a tough matchup to like predict because they try to dominate time of possession so much. So it's literally, I mean, it's like watching the Titans, honestly, is what it is, because it's Arthur Smith. He has that blueprint that he had success with from his time in Tennessee. I've been looking a lot into Atlanta about like what they've done thus far. I mean, Kyle Pitts has been a nominal disappointment. Even Drake London just hasn't really been like, and the problem is at the end of the day, I can't lay everything on Desmond Ridder because I'm seeing other stuff around that's just, how much can you invest into this offense and then just have almost none of the reward that you're expecting?
I think Ritter's I think Ridder is the problem. I think he's 90% of the problem, 10% game script. I just really think that would be a much better team with Heineke at the helm. Ritter's just not that guy right now, and there's a reason he fell to the third round. And when you look on film, man, Pitts is wide open, London is wide open. He's just, I don't know what it is. It's hard. Look, and I don't want to I'm overly critical at times of guys, but it's really fucking hard to play quarterback at any level, at the fucking Division III level, at the Division II level, let alone against the best defenses, best athletes in the world. So, but based on what he's putting on tape, he's just missing reads. Guys are wide open.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's not like I have an issue with Bijan's usage, but if you are fully aware of the shortcomings of your quarterback or the scheme or whatever, then why are you not using Bijan more? Like, again, it's not like he's averaging, anywhere from 18 to 20 touches a game. That's fine. But if nothing else in your offense is working, nothing, and you have an entire other running back that is completely usable and serviceable in this offense, and you spent the number 8 overall pick on this guy, there's just, even from a usage standpoint, the way they're actually using him, not just the touches, but like, I don't know why they're not dipping into this CMC type well. You can rip the stuff directly from the Niners with a running back and a running scheme like these two. Exactly what the Niners do with CMC.
And I guess you got to protect the investment at some point, though. I don't know if you want to just write out the box, just put him out there. That's how CMC got hurt. So maybe there's something going on there. I mean, let Algier get beat up between the tackles a little bit there. I don't know.
Even just in the receiving, though, like, he is being used like positionless, the way we like to call it. But I don't know. There's just a lot of stuff that I thought I would see that would just make it look more San Francisco and less what it is.
Yeah. And what up, J-Dubs? Why on earth do the Falcons use Jonnu more than Pitts?
No one knows. No one knows.
Good Lord. That's a question that I don't know. Has anyone directly asked Arthur Smith that question?
I think sometimes I've heard it posited that there are times where Pitts looks like a little slowed up, that maybe he's not fully back from the MCL. I don't know how true that is. I haven't been studying this offense religiously, but I mean, at the same time, Jonnu has always been a usable guy. He kind of flirted with some elite status during his time in Tennessee, and he clearly has a rapport with Smith, and he knows how to be used. I mean, he knows how to use a guy like Jonnu, and unfortunately, if you're that good a player in like a limited role, like, you're going to get a lot of free looks because people are going to be rolling coverage towards the more dangerous guys.
Right. I mean, he was Chig on Conk Row before Chig, so
yeah.
And Chig had a lot of steam. Speaking of which, Drake London just pops off.
Jonnu Smith just got a big play.
Somewhere,
Oh,
Arthur
man.
Smith is cursing us, and he's saying you guys don't know shit.
Yep.
Interesting. All right, maybe we're seeing why Atlanta was the favorite after all. There, Miami's on the board. Sorry, bud.
Yeah, I mean it's not going to go well. We're just
Should the Giants go for Caleb? Should they throw their hat in the ring?
You can't now. I mean, you can, but you can't now. If that was the plan, then why did you pay Daniel Jones? Like, there's no way after the season that you just had and the minor additions that you made to continue building on that success, should you have thought that you were going to be trying to go for Caleb? Like,
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was fairly apparent, and I've talked about this with you and Blooms a little bit, where it's like this team overachieved. They truly overachieved. I thought we saw in the playoffs where got boat raced by Philadelphia, and that's what you should be comparing yourself against, not trying to keep status quo. And I think Daniel Jones is fine. I think he's a middle of the pack quarterback. I think with the right weapons surrounding him, he can be a guy. But he can't be your quarterback if Darius Slayton's your best wide receiver, if Wan'Dale Robinson's your best wide receiver, if Darren Waller is going to be your number one option. It's just not going to work, especially in a division where you have two really good defenses in Dallas and Philly. I know Philly's defenses kind of fell off a little bit, but I think that's more to injury than anything else. Yeah, I just didn't understand it, especially at that number. Dimes at 40, that just always never made sense to me. And then you don't go get wide receivers.
yeah,
it'll work for one season. It won't work for two, as we were saying last year when we were first starting out the show. Offenses have to evolve because you're giving defensive coordinators 6 months to take away what you do well.
Yeah, and you can very much see that they've adapted to what the Giants do. It's not like they're trying they're not trying different fixes. They are, but like when the line is prohibitively bad and you can't even get the progression out and you don't have that run game to lean on like you have, this is just a doomsday scenario. Ultimately, I think it gets a little better by the end of the season, but I don't want any part of this offense right now.
I'm kind of surprised Dable hasn't he's making no adjustments. He's just like, fuck it. It worked last year. Do it again. Like, it's kind of crazy. There's no evolution in the offense. It looks like they're just running the same playbook out there.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I think you're a little bit hamstrung with the personnel that you do have. We brought in 13 slot wide receivers and don't have anybody that can win on the outside. So that's what happens. You're compressed. Teams are way better to play in the middle of the field when they know that they can just cross you up and you can't beat them outside. So it's kind of,
and to be fair, losing Andrew Thomas, that I don't know how many teams could survive that big of a loss at left tackle. There's a reason
the interior pressure has been a bigger problem. Like the fact that like teams are literally just coming in unblocked through the A gap, like on multiple occasions, just missed assignments and not blocking. Oh, okay. Offensive and defensive rookie of the year front runners. What do you think?
I mean, offensive is pretty easy. I think it's Stroud and Bijan. I mean, that's I think by the end of the year, I think Stroud will probably have to make an adjustment around week 8, week 9 as teams try to take away stuff. I am pretty impressed with Bobby Slovic down there. That's another like Shanahan McVay guy. He's been, the play calling is just, it's conducive to what you want any quarterback, let alone a rookie quarterback, do. But I do think at the end of the year, Bijan's probably going to have the counting stats, the more of the eye pop stats. And we'll see there. And I think Atlanta probably stays in the divisional race longer than Houston does for the most part.
So do you really think that Atlanta's going to like Bijan's going to have the counting stats? Because who was the last running back to win O'Roy? Was that Gurley?
I'm not sure off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Gurley is a pretty good guess.
He might have been offensive player, not offensive rookie. So that's why I'm.
So we'll see. It's certainly an interesting proposition here. We'll look at the odds on defensive rookie of the year.
So Barkley, 2018 was the last one.
That makes sense.
Barkley and then Kamara before that. And it was Gurley in 15. So 15, 16, 15, 17, 18.
I mean, Jalen Carter's the overwhelming favorite for defensive rookie of the year. Christian Gonzalez is a big piece out. He's hurt. Witherspoon. I think Witherspoon's probably a sneaky pick. He's at plus 2,000 right now. So
yeah, he popped up. He really exploded against us. Go figure.
Yeah, I think it probably ends up being chalk there. I don't think Will Anderson gets enough run there. Be crazy if Houston got both, because we all were dragging them for trading their future first. But hey, you end up with both offensive and defensive rookie of the years.
You mean like the Jets did?
Well, I mean, it didn't help that Rodgers fucking tore his shit, but yeah.
Yeah.
Puka outlook.
Oh,
Cup coming back. Hurt or help?
Honestly, I would say that I wouldn't rule out Puka. I mean, the fact that he came on the scene the way he did, I think with Cup back, he's going to transition and kind of like be a 1B.
Yeah, I think that they're able to play with each other. I think they're both usable. I think in a lot of ways their skills might complement each other a little bit. Puka's a little bigger than Cup, so he can still effectively be used outside. I'm gonna say I think you can expect Robert Woods type numbers from Puka. I think that's the baseline. I think that's the floor. Also, as we know with hamstring injuries, they're kind of finicky. I didn't think Cup would be back at the first opportunity. I'd expect both of them to have really big numbers moving forward. I think Puka I wouldn't be surprised if both of them finished with wide receiver 1 stats, because the Rams are going to have to throw, man. They're going to have to throw. And I think Puka is still, until further notice, a plug and start guy. I don't think I'm benching him for anyone at any point right now. I think I think they're going to be fine. They're going to complement each other. When you just look at the Rams, like who else is he going to throw to? Tutu Atwell. He's good for like a shock play. Man. He's good for a shock play.
Really good. I've been very impressed. No, not better. But collectively, the three of them together, I really like the way the offense is shaping up.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just saying, I just don't see a high target hog there. That's an issue. I think they'll both be fine.
So how I think it could go, like if you're looking for success for Puka, assuming Cup's coming back and is himself, you're going to take that hit in targets no matter what. That's going to happen because he's really not getting targeted down the field. He's definitely getting schemed open, and he's, just decimating zone. That's kind of why he's gotten 15 targets a game. So you're going to lose that. And the hope is that he will get more involved in the red zone.
Sure.
Because of course you'll like scheme up and then, get favorable looks for other teams double teaming Cooper Kupp, but he doesn't really draw a ton of double teams. Like that's the thing. He gets some money down.
In the slot.
Exactly. So like Kupp's probably going to be in the slot at least 50% of the time. He's done that both of the last 2 years at least. So a presence on the outside can definitely help this offense. And I think between the two of them, there's enough to go around for both. Because he doesn't need as much slot work as Robert Woods did, I do think that also bodes well for him. But it's going to have to come from somewhere else. We're probably done seeing the double-digit targets. You might get 1 or 2 more throughout the year, but that's it.
Yeah. I mean, at some point, you'll probably get a couple, but yeah, you're not going to see 20 targets. You're not going to see multiple 20 targets. This is $1 million question. Achane or Mostert moving forward. I think they're going to ride Mostert until his knee gives out. And Achane's going to be kind of the. I don't know if his body type lends him to be like a 20-pound between the tackles kind of guy. But it's apparent that the explosive plays are there. But we've seen, Jeff Wilson was by the metrics more efficient than Mostert, but McDaniel likes Mostert. He's going to keep giving him the ball. It's a question of health. I would probably try to sell Mostert sooner rather than later. I'm just not confident that his knees are going to hold up. It's typical. It's not now that's a problem. Right now he's going to put up points. He's going to score. But when you get into week 12, week 13, and once he gets hurt, it's going to be too late. So I'd rather probably cash in on him right now. Achane I'm willing to keep and kind of ride out. I think he's going to be a guy. So I guess in short, the answer to your question is Achane over Mostert, and that's just purely on a health standpoint.
Yeah, I mean, especially long term, you're gonna often do better. But if you're waiting for one of them to get ruled out and be a clear answer, you might not have one. And we can't play the Dolphins. I mean, we can't play the Broncos and the Dolphins in back-to-back weeks every week. So
yeah.
You can't.
Yeah.
Or the Giants and the
Giants.
Broncos,
Yeah. Giants and the Broncos. Yeah.
Oh, interception by Aiden Hutchinson. Oh, that was ugly.
Are you concerned about Bryce Young yet? Because I am a little concerned. I'm not panicking because we've seen bad rookie seasons before, and I think he was kind of set up to have a bad rookie year.
That's what I would say. That he just doesn't have the requisite talent to get this stuff done. I mean, Terrace Marshall and DJ Chark, and that's not going to cut it. We were talking about the Giants. Like the Giants might actually be worse than that, but like they're not much better than the Giants as far as receiving talent. Like,
dude, Ritter's out here throwing the rock. Oh boy.
Oh,
I wonder if he got the old ultimatum of, hey, you don't do good this week. We're going to Heineke.
Mac Jones pick 6.
Are you surprised? I think Jones is done. I think Mac Jones is done.
Dude, very bad.
Same thing here. Dude, I had high hopes for him coming in. I was pretty high on the Mac Jones train coming in. I thought getting Bill O'Brien, but again, what did they really upgrade?
Nothing.
I don't think it's rocket science here where it's like, what did you upgrade? You need weapons to win in this league. Not everybody's Patrick Mahomes. You can't just roll them out there and expect you have to have Patrick Mahomes. You have to have Travis Kelce at tight end, and you have to have Andy Reid as your play caller to overcome not having that bona fide number one guy. And it's just, I mean, we're talking about insert a name, right? Bryce Young, Mac Jones, whoever you want to insert, right? Look at Tua before he had Waddle and Tyreek.
Yep.
We all were like, oh, he's not good. He's hurt. He's this, blah, 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 blah. XYZ, insert the problem that you had with him. You gave him Mike McDaniel. You gave him Tyreek Hill. You gave him, you have Jalen Waddle. And now all of a sudden he's a front runner for the MVP. I don't think it's that shocking.
No, I don't. The way I like to think of it is you have to get better to stay the same. Like there is no such thing as holding pattern and then just doing what you did last year and making it work. You have to get better just to stay the same. Those seismic shifts usually only happen from scheme and coaching, or if you get a bona fide, complete stud, and there's only a limited number of those guys. And if you don't have one and you can't pay for one, then you should be trying to draft one. So if you're going to go 0 for 3 on all 3 of those spots, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, 100%. Good. See what we got here.
Laporta touchdown.
It was a good shout for me,
dude.
Thought he would get more
Can you believe that he is ranked as tight end 2 right now on some
on KTC?
Uh-huh.
It makes sense. It's a reactionary site. I'm not too surprised by that.
Yeah. I'm just saying
Also,
that's wild.
Also, not for nothing, there's probably merit to it.
Some, for sure.
He has a tight end friendly coach in Dan Campbell, who lo and behold played tight end in the league. There's a need for him in the offense. I think it makes sense a lot, and I think he's going to have a big week. That's what I was telling Blooms. Don't trade him. Don't trade him. Trade him after this week, because this is a smash spot for him. And I think he's going to get a lot of targets.
Oh, man. Zach Moss just
Vulture?
Big, long touchdown.
Oh, man.
It came out right before the game started. It said that Zach Moss would split carries with JT today.
Right.
So that's his third touch, but he's got almost 70 yards and a touchdown. Jesus. Almost from midfield. That sucks. Nothing you can do about that.
Damn.
Oh, that was just terrible. Didn't even get touched.
They're showing me Kenny Pickett right now.
Nobody wants that.
He sucks. He's very not good at football. But to be fair, another scenario where it's like, I think that's more of a Matt Canada problem, and I don't know why they're trying to force that one.
That's not how the Steelers do things. They don't make reactionary hirings and firings.
Well, you know what? Maybe they should. Especially when your burner account gets found. Have you seen it? Oh my God, it's fucking hilarious. Yeah, he's just throwing Tomlin under the bus.
Yep. And then, like, how do you do that? How do you face your players that you're coaching the next week after that all goes public? And you've been dogging our head coach this whole time. Like,
yeah, not just any head coach either. Mike fucking Tomlin.
Yeah, Hall of Famer.
Yeah. Probably not the best move. Let me dog the guy that went to bat for me. Great logic there.
Yeah.
Genius.
Must be something in the water over there with Chase Claypool. It's not going to affect everybody,
Miami.
But those that are susceptible.
I'm convinced now that Canada selected Chase Claypool. That was his draft pick. Everything's going to be Matt Canada's fault.
I got to say, like, Miami's in such a place right now where they're in a position where they can just stockpile like failed talent. And then if I need you for like 10 snaps a game just to block, if I need you for 10 snaps to run, like orbit motion or flanker or whatever, or, just go be big in the end zone one time.
Yeah.
Like,
he does add a different dimension. That's why it was like, oh man. He just pouted his way into a better situation.
Yeah, he's not the first to do it. Antonio Brown.
Yeah. Well, AB was a Hall of Fame talent.
Yeah.
Not a Hall of Fame human, but
nope.
That we're able to say that, right? Like I feel kind of bad for him. He did have a tough upbringing, but that doesn't excuse you from being an asshole to that level of proportion, I would say.
I agree. But I just don't think you should hold that against him as far as his professional career. I think we saw enough of that with T.O. He was demonized, probably worse than Antonio Brown was. But
I don't think T.O. did anything remote. If anything, AB made T.O.
not
look
that.
Like a state.
100%. 100%. I'm saying the visceral reaction that the public and the Hall of Fame had to T.O.
Oh, yeah.
Is
that wasn't
unlike
fair.
anything right. So
T.O. should have been a first ballot Hall of Famer, but to be fair, he also, whether we like it or not, the media votes on who gets into the Hall of Fame. And what T.O. did to the media, I'm not surprised that they, tried to proverbially spank him a little bit.
Yeah.
That's his own, but it was bullshit. And especially like when you look at someone like I don't think Terrell Owens is malevolent. I don't think he's a malicious human. Is he a egomaniac and it's TO first, it's his brand first? Yes, undoubtedly. I don't think anyone can dispute that. But there are times and actions that Antonio Brown has taken that it's hard not to think he isn't a malicious character, that he hasn't done something questionable at best. I mean, you're beating up moving people. You got accused of rape from your trainer.
Yep.
Stockpiling the other issues and stuff. You're posting a photo of Gisele Bundchen hugging you while Tom Brady's going through a divorce.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. There's certain things there that's like, all right, dude, you're just a bad person, and it is what it is. All right, so I'd be surprised if Antonio Brown gets in the Hall of Fame. He's had a Hall of Fame playing career, no doubt about it. I'm not disputing that. I'm not saying any of that, but I'd be kind of surprised if he gets in.
I gotta ask you, what are you doing with Justin Fields?
Selling him.
I'm selling him too.
Hard. Selling hard. I am recouping what I paid for him. Shockingly, I don't have any Justin Fields. Right. I tried to get some feelers on trying to buy him. I was trying to buy him before the Broncos game because I wish I had it in like neon behind me. If they're playing the Broncos, start them. That's the best advice I could give you. If they're playing the Broncos, yeah, we just talked about that. J-Dubs, yeah,
that sucks.
JT owners in shambles right now, which I'm one of them. I have quite a bit of Jonathan Taylor. I don't think I activated him everywhere though. But yeah, that's a tough look. Maybe Ewok can finally sell Zach Moss after all.
We can only hope.
Yeah, sell Zach Moss now, midweek. But yeah, no, like it's just, yeah, I'm definitely selling Justin Fields, man. He's not going to be playing shitty defenses every week, and you would even think, like from a divisional standpoint, you would want to like keep him in a weaker division, but Flores does well against mobile quarterbacks for the most part. You just look at his body of work against Lamar when he was in Miami. The Packers have a good defense when they're fully healthy, and the Lions have been much improved on defense. Those aren't games that I'd feel great about playing Justin Fields outside of trying to get garbage points. So for me, if I can cash in on him, I'm probably taking the package if I can get it.
Yeah. I don't know. As far as Flores, they're a pretty abusable secondary. A lot of his best work came with Miami and the Patriots, and they've always had DBs for days. I don't like their DB room. I think they're not great at all. I think you can probably keep it going again next week, potentially. They also just can't pressure. And if I want to at least give credit to the Bears O-line, they were way better. Like that's no cupcake matchup against the Washington front four. But they played way better. I struggle. Like these things are not the same. You have back-to-back 4 touchdown days, and then you have wholly unacceptable quarterback play and offensive play all the way around.
Yeah, the first 2 weeks was gross.
And you can kind of point to, you're playing the Broncos. They just gave up 70 points the week prior. And what was it, like 90% of Fields' passing yards went to DJ Moore? I don't know if that's ever even happened before. Like he threw for like 2.
Let me introduce you to Zach Wilson.
Yeah, fair. He threw for like 260, 280, something like that. And DJ got 230 of it. That's not sustainable.
No. It's definitely not, but I don't know. I'm more of the proponent of selling Fields, and that's not me. You can vouch for me here. I was by no means a Fields hater. I just I think the truth is somewhere in between the two right now, between the first 2 weeks and the last 2 weeks. I think he had favorable matchups, and Jesus Christ, what was Washington doing? Double DJ. Like at some point, when are you going to double DJ more? Like that's
they're also pretty depleted too.
Yeah,
one
they
of their
caught him
guys
on a short week.
It was Forbes got benched in the middle of that game. I mean, was he a rookie
first round
last
pick
year or this year?
No, this year, first round pick.
This year, yeah. So like, wasn't good.
Cards versus Bengals picks. I'm leading Cards today, as gross as it sounds. Another thing that I brought up in Gen Chat a little bit there, where it's like we're in week 5 and the Cardinals are probably the favorites. Now the lines changed. The Cards were like they were like a minus 110, minus 120 favorite at the beginning of the week. Now it's Bengals minus 176 as the favorite. No T. Higgins. Standard line. It's standard home team line for the Bengals, even though they're on the road in Arizona at -3. Yeah, I don't know. This is a game that I'm just like completely staying away from. It's hard for me to believe that. I think the Bengals win. One, because it's hard to pick the Cardinals against anyone. But also, I don't know. I thought the Rams were going to beat the Bengals, and they kind of pulled that out. I think the Rams are better than the Cardinals. I think they're going to hop Burrow up on all the best drugs and win this game. T. Higgins. No T. Higgins this game, which not a great spot in a must win, but I think they'll be fine with Tyler Boyd and Jamar Chase. That's more than enough to win. I'd anticipate that they're probably going to hammer the ball a lot more than we've seen with Mixon. So,
yeah, I was just going to say that they're still a pretty favorable matchup against quarterbacks in general. They've played better than advertised, and a lot of their success has just come from like cheeky run game shit and time of possession.
Yeah,
but it's not as if T. Higgins has really been a positive add for all but one game this year. So not having T. Higgins really doesn't scare me all that much as it pertains to their.
So the Giants came back and won. So yes. I think the Bengals are, as bad as the offense has looked, I think the Bengals are better than the Giants right now. So by using reductive bad football math, I'm going with the Bengals. It never works out that way.
I also think they're a defense that can really just make Josh Dobbs' life hell. Like their DBs are legit.
Yeah, they have Hendrickson. Shout out to J-Dubs for the questions. These are awesome. Thank you, man. And hope your Sunday's going off to a good start. Is Najee done for career-wise? Looks very slow. I don't think so. It just might not be in Pittsburgh. I don't think his O-line's doing him any kind of favors, and Matt Canada is. I think Matt Canada is probably the worst play caller in the league right now. I think Matt Canada is probably the worst play caller in the league. So it's hard for me to put a fork in him, but he's definitely he's marinating a little bit. That thought's marinating where it's like, is he done? Certainly possible.
I'm kind of back and forth on Najee. So I wouldn't be counting on it this year. It's not going to happen with the current scheme and with
first round
how the offense is. Right, that as well. What made Najee great was all of the dump offs that he got and the choice routes that he ran with Big Ben. And that was something that I was like going into post Big Ben, I didn't really conceptualize, and he had that first down year. I was like, what the hell? Like, I was just banking on volume because volume is volume, and I figured that would keep his floor high enough. But I mean, while the line is slightly improved, you can't improve it to the point where he's just he's barely getting any push from his offensive line at all. So it's all on him. Almost all his yards are before contact or after contact still. Like he's just not getting favorable looks. I think the offense is also missing Deontay Johnson too. He's just like a oh shit button for this offense. Like anything when they need that play, that's where they go. Outside, down the sideline. Pickens can't do that consistently yet. Freiermuth's been in and out of the lineup. He hasn't been healthy at all this year. And so at this point, they're just legislating all of that passing work to what's his name? Warren, because he's just looked more explosive and he's just a different body type. I don't think Najee's like done. He was never really a fast guy. Remember, he never ran the 40, I don't think. When he came out, I don't think he really right. And I don't think that's been a secret. So the Najee that we love didn't go away because he's like cooked and a bad athlete. The Najee we love went away because he lost so much touchdown upside because this offense can score and he can't catch the passes like he was. So if that changes, I'll be back on.
I think he's kind of like the LeGarrette Blount type, where it's like, we're gonna bludgeon you, and he's gonna initiate contact. He's not gonna have too. Wasn't there a stat though where he had like the most explosive runs or something? Was that after week 3? I think that was after week 3. He had like the most explosive runs.
I don't know.
Look at that, Colts. Year? I thought it was this year. Like so far, he had the most explosive run. I don't know. It was a weird next gen stat. Look at Anthony Richardson out here. What a guy! So much for being a year away. Him and how about Josh Downs? Are we buying Josh Downs?
He was my favorite late second round target. I had no idea why he was falling that far. I know he was smaller.
A lot of him.
Good. You should.
I have a lot of him. Like a lot.
My guilty pleasure a little bit higher was Mingo, but really Josh Downs was the guy I was targeting late everywhere.
Wow, Saints up 14-0 on New England.
Yeah.
Mac Jones on career suicide watch.
I think like over the past, I don't think the
Patriots have.
Hey yo.
What up, JL?
That was the last Big Ben. Was that a state? Yeah. Yep. I said it already, but yeah, I agree.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't know how many times the Saints and Patriots have played, but I don't remember the last time that the Patriots beat them. I think it's like 5 or 6 games in a row now or something like that.
When was the last time New England was down 14-0 at home?
2000, 1999.
Gotta be a really, really long time, man.
Just a bit. Well, that's not going to help Bryce Young. Chandler Zavala just got carted off.
Yikes. Looks like Tennessee's going to hold Indy to a field goal.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. Dude, can you guess the Chiefs line against the Vikings?
Can I guess the line?
Can you guess what the money line is?
I have no idea. I can't guess money lines. I can guess spreads. I can't guess
Chiefs
money lines.
Are minus 174 on the road against the Vikings, and it continues to keep going down. Like it was minus 230 as of yesterday, which I was like, okay, so they're saying it's a trap game. Woke up today, it was minus 188. Now it's minus 174. Vegas must know something, or the books must know something here.
I'm telling you, like
I would be shocked.
Secondary is not good. It's not good.
I would be shocked if the Vikings fucking beat the Chiefs. That's
I feel
a crazy
like
line.
Okay, so JJ's going to eat. You know that. Well, you might not know that. Obviously, Travis Kelce's going to eat. There is a phenomenon going on in Minnesota where there's almost always a go ball touchdown against, what was his name? Was it Caleb Evans? I think it was him. Like he does not play the go ball. Like he just doesn't respect the idea that you can run by him. Like
Oh,
he always waits for that, the stop route or the comeback or whatever, deep dig, and
right.
he'll jump it, and they don't even make a move.
Yeah. I don't know. It's crazy. I can't believe, the Chiefs are this low of a line. This kind of like it brings me back to last year with the Colts line though, where like it's kind of a similar scenario when they went in to play Indy and everybody was jumping on the Chiefs. And then Matt Ryan led Colts ended up upsetting the Chiefs there. I don't know.
I think that some of that was Reich had a really favorable record against them, or just like it was like the point spread. I remember I think it was like the year before, the year prior to that, they obliterated the Chiefs. Like they just stomped them out. They couldn't do anything, and that win really stuck in the minds of people.
Yeah, the Chiefs are -3.5. That's kind of crazy.
I'm good with that.
I guess people are just tired of them not covering, so they're like, "Fuck it, we're not betting them." Zach Wilson threw the ball all over you guys, so maybe that's what it is. Maybe
that has to be what it is.
Maybe something was figured out there where like there's something exploitable. Who knows? How the hell did Miami score already?
Do I need to answer that question?
I mean, it was a little rhetorical, but Jesus Christ, they were on the 6. They were on the Giants 6. What happened?
Devon Achane.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Good Lord.
Oh, sorry, it's Achane or HN.
I think it's HN. Oh my God, he did. He took it 76 yards.
Uh-huh. Well, there's the answer to your question.
Oh my God. Hey, but Daniel Jones is 7 for 7.
Yeah, great. Jameis Winston is 30 for 30. Hold on, I gotta open my beer. I gotta knock it on this thing.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is all the hopes and dreams of Giants fans being bashed into submission.
Not undeserved.
Don't worry. My team sucks too. We might lose to the Broncos today.
I actually started Zach Wilson in the league that I have no quarterbacks left.
I was going to, and then at the last second, Derek Carr got dropped, so I put in Derek Carr.
I'm gonna say this with a grain of salt, but when was the last time that you saw a guy like Achane with his speed at running back?
I mean, are we thinking Chris Johnson? Yeah. All right, Scott Hansen. Keep it in your pants.
There you go, CJ2K. Are they saying it? Because I can't hear what it's saying. I don't want to just be like, "Oh, that's my thing." But no,
I don't think he said that.
The way that
JL
he glides, man. Mm-hmm.
He's something. He's something. Yeah. It was a fair question earlier, either between him or Mostert. I think it's, like I said, Mostert's knees are eventually going to give out. But yeah, Achane's just he's a touchdown waiting to happen.
He's firmly in the top 8 running backs?
Dynasty? Or right now?
Dynasty.
Or both, I guess.
Right, well, here we'll play the.
I don't think we can name 8 ahead of him. You know who Achane is? He's the Tyreek of running backs.
Yep.
He's the Tyreek of running backs. That's what he is. All right, so who can we rank ahead of Achane? Bijan Berry.
Bijan. Okay, not the week 5 stats. I want the season stats. Pain in the ass. Okay.
Can you say McCaffrey over Achane? I don't know if you could say that in Dynasty.
I would as a contender, but I understand the I'm not contending, so I don't want
Yeah,
CMC.
no, that's.
I would say, like, all things considered, I still want CMC.
This is gonna get uncomfortable very quickly because we're gonna say, would you rather have Saquon or Achane?
Achane.
I think it's pretty clearly Achane.
Yep.
Just because of the offense, it's going to be hard to beat that offense, man.
Yeah.
I'd rather have Kenneth Walker for what it's worth. I'd rather have Kenneth Walker over Achane.
I think I might still want Achane over Kenneth Walker as much as I love Kenneth Walker.
There's ETN, who someone decided to trade for Travis Kelce in Gen Chat. That didn't look great.
Who did that?
Me. Not looking great.
I'm maybe I would at least put them the same tier, if not.
I wouldn't.
The other.
JL said he would take Bijan, Breece, and CMC. End of list.
Yeah.
I don't think I would take Breece.
I think
I would take Achane.
I think we got about 3 weeks left for that question to not answer itself, because Breece with no limitations is gonna rock.
I mean, I think Breece with a Zach Wilson-led offense is going to be an issue. Now, if he had Aaron Rodgers, I would buy.
It was Breece with the Zach Wilson-led offense last year, in addition to Joe Flacco and Mike White.
Yeah, but the O-line might have gotten worse. The O-line might have gotten worse. Oh, look at that. The Panthers scored.
Yep. Jonathan Taylor.
What'd he do? He did something?
No, just would you rather?
Oh, would I rather JT?
Mm-hmm.
So I love Steichen. I really, really love Shane Steichen, but wow, I don't know. I abstain. I don't want to answer the question. I think I would still take Jonathan Taylor over him, to be fair.
That'd be tough, but I get it. And that's like, I don't think it's close with Jahmyr Gibbs. I don't think it's close with Barkley. I don't think it's close with who else we got.
I think it's fairly close with Saquon and PPR, where Saquon's going to catch the ball.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about anyone else though.
That's about it. I mean, the closest guy would be like if you think Tony Pollard continues.
I don't. Yeah, that's a fair guess, but it seems like Achane's maybe the more talented runner. The guy's he's been a. Oh my God, the Saints are up 21-0 on New England.
Yep.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's big time.
GG's Mac Jones. Do we bury him? Is he buried? Can we put him in the cemetery?
He's been buried for me, man. I just don't like the offense. I don't give a shit.
Oh my God, it's
even
over.
If he's good, you're never gonna see it.
It's over.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, 21-0 in Foxborough. Does Belichick make it?
Dude, I have wrestled with that very question.
How do you fire Bill Belichick? Okay. Hold on. How do you fire Bill Belichick?
I don't think optically you can.
How do you fire? There's no way. I
think either if it's going to happen this year, either he is stripped of his GM title and he can just coach and he can consort like every other. They're not going to like strip him of like no decisions whatsoever. They're going to weigh in, but like, how can you look at the last 2+ years and not say something needs to change?
Yeah, no, I hear you.
Either he will retire, which I don't think is all that likely, or he's going to get that wins record. There will be a GM level shakeup.
He'll be on another team.
There's no way.
He'll be on another team.
There's no way. He's
I
what,
think Belichick-
75 years old?
I think Belichick will be coaching another team.
No way.
He's younger than Pete. Pete's like 72.
Pete's not going anywhere. He will
Pete's-
retire as a Seahawk.
Pete's not going it. He survived the Russ thing. He survived it beautifully.
He really did.
He won.
Well, Russ made that very easy to survive for everybody involved. Yeah,
He won.
for sure.
Jails, because now you could pin it on Brady. I push back on that a little bit. I think Belichick won the first 3 Super Bowls. I think Belichick was responsible for the first 3. And I think it was, 51-49 Brady for the last 3. And clearly, Brady got one more. Brady won. Brady is Kobe and Belichick's Shaq. It's
not the worst thing I've ever heard.
I mean,
Belichick, and it is credit to Bill because they wrote the book on being positionless, like doing shit out of the box, weekly game planning stuff. They were well ahead of just about every team until maybe in the last 5 years.
You ready?
I'm ready.
If the Cowboys do not make it to the NFC Championship game, Bill Belichick will be the Dallas Cowboys head coach.
No.
I'm calling it right now.
They will shut that
calling
down.
it right now.
There's
calling
no
it right now. Right now.
No, they'll end up with Ben Johnston next year.
If they do not make it to the NFC Conference Championship, and even that, depending on how they lose in it, Bill Belichick going to the Cowboys.
It's a funny way of saying Ben Johnston.
Bill Belichick right now probably has a picture of Micah Parsons in his home.
Do you need to make a celeb appearance for this topic?
Yeah, come on. Come here. Come on. You coming on? Oh, I had guessed.
Have you heard that they've changed the way they refer to the Bush Push now? First it was the Bush Push, where the Jalen Hurts thing, they get behind and they just push him. So
push a brotherly love or whatever.
Yeah, it's the brotherly shove. I'm like, nope, put it back.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like that.
And the double cheek push or whatever.
JL, do you want me to send you a link?
Send it.
Send it. Nice.
By the way, if you want a low key buy, go buy Tajay Spears.
Why?
He's getting a lot of friggin' targets. He's running like option routes right now. And of course, eventually Henry will be spent. But I think he can be a flex the rest of the season just because nothing else in that pass game is working.
I think, hot take. Bill Belichick will end up as the Cowboy. He'll end up as one of your guys' as coaches, either the Cowboys or the Giants.
Daboll ain't going anywhere yet. No,
For Bill Belichick, I bet you he will. For Bill Belichick, I bet you he will.
No way. For Joe Judge, sure. If it was Joe Judge, 100%. But he earned himself some slack for what he got done last year.
I don't know. This keeps going bad. He might get that boot. Oh, thank God. JMM didn't start Zach Moss. Thank you. Mostert might be dead. Fuck.
Might be dead.
It looks like it's Achane.
Yeah.
Son of a gun. Bloom's in the chat.
What'd he say? Makes you want to throw my phone every day. If I had one. Yeah. I don't have it.
Man.
No, I have one Achane share. One.
I think I have one as well. It might be a best ball.
And it was I drafted Achane at that point when the Jonathan Taylor to Miami talk was at a fervor. It was just a contrarian play. I had no expectations. He was not my favorite running back in this class.
Where do I own him? Yeah, it's best ball. I have him. I have him in best ball. I have him in one league. A $5 best ball league.
Is JL coming?
I sent him the link.
Okay.
Maybe selling him for 2 first was too low. What's happening now? Ooh, Tennessee's driving. Tennessee, Indianapolis, looking like the best game of the opening slate. Yeah, Falcons, Texans, 1 point apart.
Has JMO done anything yet for the Lions?
Probably not.
Nope.
No, Josh Reynolds has one kid. They're just running Montgomery. That's not a fair assessment. Goff is just playing point guard.
Yep.
JMO has 1 target.
Nice. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out on JMO.
I mean, I don't think anyone's in on him anymore. Except Booger. I'm never gonna let Booger live it down.
No.
He did not want to trade him for DK Metcalf.
Something big just happened in Indianapolis, but let's show you a little slant pass here for the Giants.
The thing is, like, the Giants were kind of moving the ball at times too. Like, it's just not going to happen.
They're not going to be able to keep up. They're going to get boat raced. Oh,
very nice.
Dun 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 dun. And now, the newest going to be the newest fan of one Bill Belichick.
Impart some wisdom on this man, please.
That is not happening. I'm like, in all seriousness, it's not.
No, it's going to happen. I set the parameters.
If we don't make a conference championship game.
Yeah, if you don't make the conference championship, and even depending on how you guys lose in the conference championship game, McCarthy's getting fired.
I think that is if we don't make the championship game and how we lose, yes, McCarthy will get fired, but Belichick will not replace him.
Come on. Let's get spicy. The most likely scenario is Dan Quinn takes over, because that's probably what Jerry keeps telling him. He's like, I'll make you the highest paid assistant, yada, yada, yada. Just stay. I don't really like this guy. But Belichick, how does Belichick say no to that defense?
Oh, Belichick, I think, would be for it. And I think he's a really big fan of Dak Prescott as well. Mm-hmm. I don't think this is a Belichick thing. This would be a Jerry Jones thing. Unless Steven Jones.
Jerry needs to win that Super Bowl before he croaks.
Oh, no, that's a good point. Jerry is the only owner that is as active as he is in GM and personnel decisions, and Belichick requires that control.
Yes.
Up to this point, that's a good point. I didn't even think of it that way.
Yeah, he gave it up for Parcells.
How many years ago?
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
03, 04.
Oh, man. Anthony Richardson hurt for the 3rd game in a row. Headed to the locker room with a shoulder.
Gotta slide, my guy. Gotta slide. It's the big boys.
Yep.
But
throwing shoulder. Even worse.
No, come on. You wouldn't take Belichick?
It's not that I wouldn't take Belichick. It's not a matter of taking Belichick or not taking Belichick. Jerry's not going to cede that control. He's just not. Especially because one of the things that Belichick, or I shouldn't say Belichick, that Dallas has in place, and why we've been able to keep Will McClay which is our scouting
Right.
um,
He's basically your
director.
GM.
He's basically our GM, and so I think once you introduce a new dynamic there, if you diminish Will McClay's role, I think he's gone. Because the
Yeah.
only reason he's staying there right now is because he's getting paid very much like a GM. And
Right.
so if you bring Belichick in and you're telling him, hey, Jerry's going to have to give up control, or Jerry and Steven and Will McClay's going to have to give up control.
I think Belichick would just coach. I think
If he
would
came
trust
in and just coached, then maybe. Then
So
maybe.
So
For,
are we
for
all
those
in?
of you that don't know, Will McClay is probably the best scout doing it right now because look at the scout, look at
Probably.
the draft classes that the Cowboys have rolled in year after year.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
doesn't miss. He don't miss. And he stopped Jerry Jones from taking Johnny Manziel.
Yes. Well, Steven Jones stopped him. The rumor was Will McClay and Steven Jones were like, get off your rocker.
We'll quit. We'll quit.
We'll quit if you select him. And Will McClay didn't want Taco Charlton either. Will McClay wanted TJ Watt. And Rod Marinelli, they had a slightly higher grade on TJ Watt, and Rod Marinelli said, "Well, I can't run my defense with a 6'2", 245-pound linebacker setting the edge. I need a prototypical defensive end size, and I'll coach him up and turn him into, a productive player." And so
Whoops.
they went with Rod Marinelli's suggestion, and so they took Taco over TJ Watt.
Isn't it
Oh,
funny
man.
the sweet little lies you tell yourself for draft time? Yeah, I don't know about one of the most legendary bloodlines that we're going to see this side of the 21st century. Let's take this guy whose first name is Taco.
Yeah. Didn't he eat his way out of the league as well?
I don't think so. Honestly, he just he looked like Tarzan, played like Jane, and that's not from an NFL standpoint. Obviously, if you put him on a college field, he's probably
Disappointing.
a solid player or a good player, but
Right.
as soon as you got him on an NFL, he all that, like, he was like 6'6", 270, and
Jesus.
as soon as you got hands on him, he could not transfer any kind of speed to power at all.
Well, since we got JL on,
Yeah.
when the Dallas Cowboys inevitably lose in the divisional round, who is it that you want to replace Mike McCarthy?
Look who's talking shit though. Don't let him
That's
talk
right,
shit.
I'm talking
dude.
shit.
Look who's
We put
talking
down
shit.
the Vikings.
The team that's not even gonna fucking make the fucking playoffs.
Oh, I could dunk on Schlag all day because he had been telling me that this offense was going to be a super downer too, and they've looked.
Quick rebuttal to that. What was it yesterday, the day before? JT sent me an offer for Dak Prescott, and I just gave him one of these because it's been
Yeah,
not
he said
good,
no.
man.
I thought it was a fine trade.
Well, Dak's been really good in terms of success rate. He's been probably, I think he's been like the best quarterback on third down, if I'm not mistaken. The only issue that we've had is red zone
Oh my
offense. That is it. But
Don't look at the screen. Don't look at the screen, AJ. Don't look at the screen. You're about to watch Tyreek bomb.
yeah,
Well, I mean that helps me this week.
Yeah,
I got plenty of Tyreek out there, but
Don't look. Look away. Look away.
I can't even see it yet.
Oh, well, it's not gonna be good.
Got the
You were saying,
notification.
sorry, JL.
no, don't worry about it. It was the only struggle he's had is in the red zone, and then game script. We've basically taken 3 or 4 quarters off because we were pounding the Giants. I think it was 30-0 in the third quarter. It was 28-3 versus the Patriots at halftime.
Yeah.
It's the
The Jets
only
game.
game.
Jets game wasn't very. It was competitive for about 5 minutes in the second quarter.
Yeah, we basically
And
took
then-
the fourth quarter off in the Jets game, and then the Arizona game was just wild.
I think they just everybody seemed just everyone was just depressed after the Diggs injury.
Oh my God. It wasn't even a bomb to Tyreek. That was after the catch.
Oh yeah.
It was a screen.
Oh
It was
no.
a screen.
Yikes.
I need to check this. I don't even have it up right now.
That's so
'cause
No,
I'm-
I saw it on Sleeper. Tyreek went for 64, so I was like, "Don't look."
Oh, it was bad.
yeah, I'm gonna put it on red zone as
Even
well. I'll
worse.
put it on here.
We have a propensity to do that. Do you guys remember at the Rams heyday? It was the original iteration. It was Cooper. It was Cup, Woods, Cooks, and we gave up like a 70-yard screenplay to Robert Woods, and nobody touched him. We're known to do that.
I don't know who you're saying we is, but
Who do you think we is?
I don't know who we is, but I am not a Giants fan. I don't think that guy's a Giants fan.
No. The Giants. Oh, you know who I realize really think the Giants are missing more than anyone is John
Andrew Trump.
Feliciano. John
Oh,
Feliciano.
Yeah. Yep.
Not
I
the name I
really-
was thinking.
Well, Andrew Thomas, yes, but the interior of their offensive line just looks completely out of sorts.
Not a good
Complete-
year for rookie centers. Not a good year because the Jets guy isn't doing good either.
Yeah, and I like John Michael Schmitz, but I honestly did not know that John Feliciano had been not re-signed. I thought it was going to be John Feliciano there at center with John Michael Schmitz as the heir apparent, and would either come in, mid-season or next year. And when you see their center play, and really just the entire interior of the offensive line, they just look completely dysfunctional. And Daniel Jones can handle pressure off the edge. He cannot, like most quarterbacks, he cannot function when it's right up in his face.
Well, there's no time to react. There's nowhere to
Yeah.
because usually you're getting pressure from both anyway. So even if you manage to get away from the interior, you're getting sucked right into the edge pressure.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
can't step up. He can't step up.
I think Miles Sanders did something bad. Looks like he fumbled.
Did he? That's not good.
Fantasy bust of the year contender.
For sure. One of them.
Dude, have the Colts figured out like a game plan here where it's like you put Richardson out for the first 2 quarters and then let Minshew come in and defenses can't adjust?
Why don't you
They
ask,
figured something out
why
here?
don't you ask Flores about how that works with Tua and Ryan Fitzpatrick,
Yeah.
or the Saints Tua too?
Yeah, right. With Hill.
I'm getting
Oh,
at,
Zay Flowers. There we go. Our prodigal son.
I'm getting asked in a DM right now, A-Chain or first, and I'm about to laugh.
But oh my god,
I
it was
think-
a screen.
I think it's at least relevant to when we're speaking about A-Chain, just to be realistic about the stat profile that he's putting up. Because while yes, he is a touchdown from anywhere on the field, so were players like Brandon Cooks, so were players like so it's just something to maybe keep your expectations. Just know that you're not getting the reception floor. You're not getting the stable of carries. I mean, to a degree, when they're winning by 4-5 scores on some weeks, they are going to get more garbage time touchdowns. But in terms of like the statistical workload is really not all that impressive for A-Chain. He's just able to maximize touches in a way few players can.
Yeah, but I do think that that a lot of people are saying, oh well, he's very high ceiling, low floor. I do think we have to keep it in perspective in terms of the running back landscape. That is so many of the running backs
Right.
at this point, outside of
Yeah.
CMC and Bijan, really, just about
Yeah.
every running back is high ceiling, low floor, and so.
Well, Eckler.
Yeah, and Eckler. I take that back. I forget because he's injured right now.
Yeah, I keep forgetting about Eckler. I
But
continuously forget about Austin Eckler.
just every other running back is like that. And I will say Achan is getting 3-4 targets a game. So if he's
Yeah.
getting those 2-3, and then as long as he's getting 8 runs a game, I think one of those runs
Oh my God.
is gonna break for 10 plus yards. So when you think about that, if you get at least one 10 plus yarder with the other carries, even if they only pop off for 2 or 3, and then you get the 2 or 3 catches, you're still getting it like an 8 or 9 point floor. So it's not killing you.
Right.
Dog, Tua went full Daniel Jones at the goal line.
He went back for 30 yards. I don't know what that one means.
We went back for 90.
He threw a pick. Threw a pick 6 at the 4-yard line.
Oh,
96. My bad.
Good Lord.
I call that one the Mac Jones right now. That guy keeps throwing.
That's the Giants' first half touchdown this year.
Bryce
And
Young
it's
just
not
threw
an
another
offensive
pick.
touchdown.
No, it is not. Oh man.
Oh my God! Another score to Laporta.
Yep.
3 touchdowns for Goff.
How did they get the ball?
I don't know.
Wait.
They threw a pick.
How did they get the ball back? Hold on, I gotta now
They
look.
threw a pick.
Oh, they threw a pick.
Yeah. I think I need to take 2 victory laps with the Lions because I was one of the biggest Sam Laporta fans. And
Yep.
then
Yeah,
I was telling people, I said, hey, don't forget about Demont in this offense because Dan Campbell has shown a propensity for doghousing running backs that don't show that weird tough grit. And
right.
that's exactly what happened. And I think Gibbs is going to be just fine. He looks excellent out there, but so
Yeah,
did
he looks good.
Swift.
Yeah.
So did
Yeah,
Swift.
just to clear the air there, the only reason that I accepted the trade from Saquon from you is because it was Saquon. I understood that it entailed me giving up Montgomery, but I was just like, click.
Yep.
And I'm regretting it at the moment, but I
Yeah,
would still
no,
do it
that
again.
when you sent
I didn't want to get rid of him. I just wanted
when you
Saquon.
sent Demont to Flack, that was the part of the trade that just absolutely gutted me. I was like, no.
Yeah, but it just to give you guys a heads up, I sent AJ Brown for Garrett Wilson straight up, and then he countered with
The draft picks.
the pick. No, he countered with AJ Brown. I think it was Garrett Wilson at a second for AJ Brown and Demont, and then I added the third. I was like, well, just give me another dart throw on top of this, and that'll work.
Yeah, that was big for him because Jacobs has been a massive disappointment.
So I'm so depleted draft pick wise in that league that I forgot that I had a 25-second. And had I realized that, I probably would have been in your ass for Montgomery. I figure we would have got something done, but
Yeah,
couldn't remember.
I would have. If I had known that Rick wanted Demont too, I would have straight up offered AJ Brown and Demont for Stroud. I don't know if you would have taken it.
Yeah, it depends on when it happened. I think I'm Stroud's locked on my roster now. He's just there now.
To be perfectly, I would have traded Stroud right after.
Yeah, probably. He's locked, and I actually have to credit you for it because you talked me out of sending Dak and Stroud for T-Law, even though FTB didn't really want to do it anyway. He's like, I don't want to do it. Also, he still maintains Kyler's more valuable than Bijan, and I'm just like, all right.
I mean, I get the logic behind it, right? It's similar to like AR-15 and Bijan.
Kyler's not going to have a job when he comes back. It's Josh Dobbs season, baby. What is going to happen? What's going to happen in Arizona? What's going to happen there? I mean, that offense does look like it's made for Kyler, though.
Yes. what they are doing in terms, I mean, Dobbs is getting like 6 to 8 designed runs per game.
Yeah.
So the design of what they're doing, it looks, this is gonna sound, it looks like very much the RG3 offense.
Yeah. Yeah, it does.
And slow it comes from, the Shanahan tree, just like when it was there. But it's a lot of counters. I think I told you guys, I did rewatch it when I watched Arizona versus Dallas. They must have ran either 13 or 14 either counters or GT pulls
Yeah.
in that game, and it worked. And it's similar to what they were doing in Washington, either not necessarily the counter stuff, but just a lot of attacking the perimeters with the running backs, and you have James Conner filling the Alfred Morris role.
Right.
Yeah. Plus, so it's misdirection on both sides, and then was it that game that Rondale scored on the end around or the yep?
It wasn't
Not the
even an end around.
Jet sweep.
Yeah, no, it wasn't even a jet sweep. It was a trap play. So they lined Wandale up at wide receiver, and then they motioned him into the backfield right next to Kyler, and then he literally turned to his left and handed the ball off to Rondale, and they allowed the defensive end to. They used our speed against us. They allowed the defensive end to penetrate, and they trapped him, and he took off right on that edge. And with his speed, we had our linebackers on the field, and our linebacker and our safety took a bad angle, and he was gone.
You activated my trap card. Yeah, fucking Arizona. I'm still mad about that game.
So I came in late. What other topics did you guys discuss?
We did Fields. We did. You asked
we did
me about
Fields.
Bryce Young panic level. We did.
I'm not panicked at all.
I'm not either. How good can you look with the current landscape?
Yeah, it's the system that's bothering me about him.
Yeah, I am a little panicked about Frank Reich. There is potentially, I am not sure what the plan is there, but
you're not a believer in Frank Reich the third.
We're definitely getting demonetized.
As if there was a monetization.
We're not monetized yet. We're not monetized.
Yeah.
What's going on your credit report?
Yeah, right. Frank made a Frank Reich the third joke. That's gotta suck though. To be Frank Reich the third, that's gotta suck.
Yeah, it does.
That can't be good.
You can't.
You can't.
But I mean, was it? I forget who posted it, but there was one where they posted that Frank Reich had to call timeout because he had called a play for Adam Thielen, and Adam Thielen wasn't in the game, so they called a timeout. No, yeah, but the fact that they're having to design the offense around 33-year-old Adam Thielen.
That's why you went there. I'm shocked.
Sure it is.
I'm shocked when I read that where he was like, "Yeah, I went to Carolina because I wanted to be the centerpiece." I think you know what I think secretly JL was sending him emails and he was like, "You're better than Jefferson. You should get your own."
That was my 2-year-old take. And to keep in mind, I did not think he was a better receiver. I just thought that Kirk Cousins loved him so much he was going to keep peppering him in the end zone, and he did for like the first 8 weeks. Him and JJ were
like 14 touchdowns.
Yeah, they were literally like within points of each other.
Whole white. That's all Kirk Cousins saw. He's like whole white guy.
Hold on, I'm gonna mute myself for a second.
Yep.
Are we a little more confident in Calvin Ridley going forward?
I'd never lost confidence.
I'm just the point output has been a little scary the last couple of weeks. Not that he cost a fortune to acquire. I have an irresponsible amount of Calvin Ridley, but I'm watching every game, and like he is this close to a touchdown literally every week. Like he has
don't think
been toe tap, 1 foot in, and it gets called incomplete almost every week.
So
Who's this?
Calvin Ridley.
Yep.
I thought that this was going to just kind of be par for the course, especially with Peterson's offense. Just some weeks are going to be Christian Kirk, some weeks are going to be Ridley's, with a steady diet of Evan Ingram in there. Yeah, I mean that's just kind of like that's the Peterson offense. It doesn't surprise me. I think Ridley's fine. I think he's the alpha there. He made a hell of a play today on third down to kind of like seal the game there a little bit.
I mean, I've just seen a little more panic. I think it's been a little more vocal. His targets in order since week 1 have been 11, 8, 7, 2, 8. But what makes you uncomfortable is the points associated with them. You're just like, oh shit.
Yeah.
And he has been like he's been getting the targets, but they haven't been connecting. So on that's a healthy target share, but he has caught 8, 2, 3, 2, and now 7 today receptions on the year. So it's not been great. They look disjointed as they've been. They looked a little more together today, and Buffalo's no slouch, but they're starting to hemorrhage. They're starting to hemorrhage.
I think Buffalo lost 2 of their best players within a 4-quarter span. They lost Tre'Davious White, who finally started to look like Tre'Davious White.
Yep.
And then they lost Milano today.
Yep.
And they don't have Edmonds anymore. I think that's an underrated loss there. They don't have Edmonds. He signed in Chicago.
And I know this was Vaughn's first game back, but he was back on the sideline with a hat on. He did not have a helmet on by the 3rd quarter. So I don't know what happened there.
Well, he was on a snap count.
Oh, okay.
I think that was designed.
Maybe nothing happened. But
yeah, nothing happened. He was in there.
Okay.
In the 4th. He was in there in the 4th. He was on a design snap count, which probably makes that makes the most sense. He should probably just be on a snap count the rest of his career. To be honest with you, he is 34 years old.
Yeah, I don't know why they made him play after the trip. It's week 5. They're okay. They're 3-2 now, but
well, they were down Rousseau. Greg Rousseau didn't make the trip, so
I'll be right back.
Gotcha. I think we're gonna wrap anyway.
Yeah.
Call it.
He's
We'll
got
see.
somewhere to be.
Yeah, I gotta go to a birthday party. I gotta go be with my friends. But yeah, no. Good shouts. We'll be back. We'll be back earlier this week. So for anyone still listening, go Chiefs. I got the Chiefs. Chiefs are gonna smoke them. You got Eagles or Rams?
I'll go the Eagles and not like it.
Interesting. The Eagles are
they're just running the ball too well right now.
They're
minus
-4
after averaging 6 yards a carry. Like,
yeah, I know. A guy that I was completely out on, and he's probably gonna keep killing.
Same. Can't say anything. Same.
Jets or Broncos?
Jets.
Does Hackett get revenge? I want Sean Payton. I want him.
Dude, that was the whole thing that like was completely lost. It was like after Sean Payton made those comments, they were like, "Oh man, Aaron Rodgers, week 5, that game's good." And then like so much shit has happened since then between both of these teams, and it's like, oh yeah, there's supposed to be a revenge game this week.
Yeah, that feels like last year.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. This was awesome. We'll get it more regularly, and I'll show up at the time that we set.
Good.
Good luck with the move, and good luck, JL's wall.
Appreciate it.
See ya.